Hello and welcome to what is this, part three? I think it's part three of Mega Haul. And this is a couple of new, well, I say new, like more modern brands, just a couple, and then the rest is all vintage. Yes, all vintage stuff. Woohoo! The theme on this one is just like silver and gold tone bits, and that's it really. And also some cool names that you might know, and some bits that will be going into whatnot shows because the theme is right. Anyways, so let's have a look at some of the modern bits. The first up, oh, I think this is cool. We had a silver one rather similar to this in a whatnot show at some point. So look, it's a little mixtape and a little vinyl record. Isn't that cute? It is by, there you go, Henry Holland. I had a really nice dress by Henry Holland once. It was a tea dress and it had pandas over it. And because I was going to Edinburgh and I wanted to go to Edinburgh Zoo, I thought, oh, I could wear the panda dress. And then the pandas will come out for me. I was 32 at the time. But no, they didn't, the bastards. They were pretending to be pregnant. And so, even though I had a panda dress, I did not get to see the pandas. Boo. Boo hiss. Next up, oh, isn't this ring nice? It's so well made. I think it's probably stainless steel. Look at that lovely 3D effect on those flowers. It is by Der Bergkern. It's a nice large size as well, this one. But isn't that so handsome? I think that is so fantastically well made. A really gorgeous cocktail ring. So pretty. I don't know how well used it is because I think it might be a stainless steel, perhaps a rhodium plated stainless steel, because it is so lovely and shiny as well. Beautiful big floral ring, that absolute stunner. Love that one. And then we've got a bit of Lalique. Well, it is signed Lalique, but there is no Lalique glass. I'm thinking that in here there may be like a little round of glass or something, perhaps, and that you could change it out and the bits of glass are missing, like perhaps little discs or something. I'm not quite sure. I will have to do a Google image search on that one just to find out. But look at that, they're all pretty little birdies, or like little swifts or swallows, aren't they? Like almost like my tattoo design. I reckon swifts. But yeah, shame we haven't got the little innards for it, which I'm presuming exist. But it's still a bit of Lalique. It might be a keeper, who knows. And then I think this is the last bit of modern designers. I don't know, one more after this one. This is a bit of Kendra Scott. The Americans love selling Kendra Scott. There you go. So it's signed Kendra Scott there, and then it's also known by that little hang tag. To me, all of this stuff just kind of looks the same. It's all just like a bit of a druzy, a bit of a stone in a shape on a chain, and yet they spend an absolute fortune on it because it says Kendra Scott. I think it's quite highly copied as well. Not branded Kendra Scott, but you can get ones that look very similar for a lot cheaper. But yeah, I don't see what all the fuss is. I mean, like, it's nice, but I wouldn't pay what some of them are paying for it anyway. And then this is the last bit of modern, even though it looks quite a bit older, doesn't it? This is pewter, and I found it online. It's currently being made and sold. This design is called, I think it's the Victorian Scroll. So it's very pretty, but I would have thought it would have been like 1970s or something. But no, it's relatively modern. It doesn't have a particular maker. It's not stamped or anything. But it certainly has a cool vintage look to it. Nice handsome cuff, that. Nice cuff. There we go. Okay, let's get on to the vintage stuff, shall we? Why not? Right, well, I think, for a start, that this is vintage, or a vintage bit that has been maybe changed and put a modern clasp on it, or a modern chain. Maybe that was part of a necklace. I can imagine perhaps that being like 2 parts, maybe. I don't know. So this might be an upcycled bit, Or who knows, it might actually have been like that in the first place. But I think that definitely looks like a little vintage Art Nouveau little flower, doesn't it? Bluebells or something. I think super pretty anyway. We'll have a little floral corner going on down here, why not? A couple more florally brooches then. How super sparkly is that? Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, it's got its safety chain all wrapped around itself. Oh no. I'll sort that out later. Anyway, the stones are fantastic, aren't they? There was another one. There you go. I'll show you that one as well. Unfortunately, that one, its clasp is broken. It's missing the rollover bit in the clasp, which is a shame. So that'll probably go into a broken brooches lot, even though it's totally wearable. But there we go. But that one's nice. I really like the detail on the leaves here. And then the AB stones. They're just super sparkly and gorgeous. And then this one, I thought would have been silver and possibly Bakelite. So remember we had that Bakelite one in the first one, or possibly amber. This one, shall we lights off? No, I don't think it's not giving back the light, if you know what I mean. It's not glowing, it's just reflecting the purple. So it's a possibility it is a carved Bakelite, that one. And then you would think these leaves would be silver, wouldn't you? It looks like silver, it's tarnishing like silver, but no, it's not. But it's still gorgeous, isn't it? Probably, what do you reckon? 1930s maybe? Super pretty. Oh, go on, have another brooch then. Oh, look at that. I love these. These are duet brooches. So this is how you do them. Okay. So think of this as being like a bit of a frame. There we go. And then you undo that bit, undo without stabbing yourself, Lex. Come on. Why are you being a bit fiddly? It's being stubborn. There you go, that's a little frame. And then these bits go on your dress clips, and they help as well, by the way. If you're wearing, say, like a strappy top with a bra underneath, they help keep, like, if you put them in the corners of your top, they help keep your bra strap and your strappy top together. So there you go. Little handy tip from me there. Right, put them back in the right way. So you can wear them separately as dress clips or together. It's a pretty little Art Deco brooch. Isn't that gorgeous? And I love marquisite. 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 How do you say it? Seat or sight? We had a big debate about that on, well, it was a massive debate, a huge debate about that on our Whatnot shows. Some lovely vintage necklaces. This is a nice little floral one with AB stones. No maker on this one, and the chain bit is quite lightweight. It's very similar in style to like Coro and Exquisite and all of that, but I think a little bit of a lower down on the quality chain there, but it's still very pretty. 1950s most likely, judging by the lightweight chain as well and the design. That probably would have been in a lovely little presentation box, and it might have come with a matching brooch and earrings, which I'm sure would have made a lovely little present for someone. Some more familiar ones now. I've had this pendant so many times. It is by Sphinx. You'll normally get like, is there a design number on this one? There is no design number on this one, but I've had it so many times that I know that that is Sphinx, and that one will always sell. If you get them in white around Christmas time, they're really popular. I've also had it as a brooch, and someone described it as a Halley's Comet brooch, and I was like, oh wow, yeah. You can kind of see it, can't you? That it's not just a teardrop shape, that on its side it looks a bit like a comet with its tail. I quite like that description. And then this one is, I'm pretty sure this is also a Sphinx one that is tangled up with something else. And this is very brutalist in style, isn't it? So you can wear that to the South Bank. There you go, that's got the design number on there as well. I reckon some people would have glued a stone in there, like a tiger's eye or something, and that would have looked quite groovy as well. But yeah, these always sell quite well, these brutalist, modernist, Sphinx ones. Very nice. How's this for a collar? Oofed. Now, I think, I'm not sure, would you say that that was meant to be two-tone? Yeah, why not? Because it is a pretty even two-tone over all of them with the silvery coloured bits in the middle. Let's check on the other side. A little bit of wear on the other side. However, this is a bit of coral. I think that's a coral dangle anyway, I'm pretty sure. But as a collar, that is rather splendiferous, don't you think? Put that in a little heart shape there, why not? I think that's rather gorgeous. Your keywords for that one, obviously brutalist, but you could also go for a little bit Art Deco as well. And Cleopatra collar, always popular as well. Maybe even a bit Grecian, a bit disco, a bit Studio 54. And then this one, very similar dangle, isn't it? Now I know that this one is coral. I've had this one before. And this is like the wreath leaf. Like laurel leaves almost, aren't they? Could wear as a crown. That would give you a good Roman look, wouldn't it? Grecian look. Gold plate on these. Wearing off in places, but other than that, like on the front, very little wear, a little bit there, but I love the articulation on that. That's really nice and smooth. Bit of an articulation. Smooth and snaky. Do, do, do. That's cool, that. Looks a bit like a centipede going across there, doesn't it? Couple of popular names, because why not? This one's a bit of Napier. I really like this bracelet. It looks like those, is it Victorian or Edwardian? You know, the slider ones where they have little panels, but these don't slide, it just looks like it. And then it looks a little bit like Edelweiss in there, but I don't think they are. They're just pretty little, oh, a bit like Moroccan tiles as well in a way. This is by Napier. There you go, signed Napier there, and also on the other end as well. I think that's really quite lovely. Very delicate little item, that. Very sweet. Yeah, that's quite nice. Napier collectible, not as much as brands such as Monet, and I will show you a Monet one next. But still, like, very nice, especially for a design like that. Oh, by the way, I have to say thank you to those people in the last one. Karen and Antoinette, they quite rightly pointed out that the Monet necklace was a collectible 80s one, which is always quite nice. Always quite nice. A book piece apparently, so I'll have to find out the book. You never know, and if it's not too expensive, I might buy it. We shall see. This one is a Monet chain. It is super long and gold plated. I reckon this probably would have been quite pricey. Brand new. It's really quite heavy as well, so a good substantial chain, and the gold plating on it is really quite lovely. And honestly, you would be fooled really into thinking that that could be gold if it wasn't for the weight and obviously the Monet tag on it. But you would bloody well love it if that was gold, because that weighs half a ton. That would be like £1,000 worth of gold if it was. Sadly, it's not today anyway. Ooh, just another little, here's a little random one. I very rarely do watches, but this is quite sweet. This is a rotary watch. It is a wind-up one. Oh, there we go. I'm setting the time. There we go. I'm going to set it to 12. Let's give it a little wind-up. No, no, stop it. Okay. Let's hope that it keeps time. You can watch it there and see if it does. A little experiment. Another couple of cool vintage 70s bits. How brutalist is that? Isn't that awesome? I can't see a maker on this one, but I'm pretty sure I've had one very similar before, and it might have been by Exquisite. I'm not sure. But yeah, isn't that lovely? Really nicely textured, a little bit like, you know, twigs of wood and stuff. But very kind of primitive in a way as well. And then we've just got a little gemstone, probably a quartz, stuck on the front there. Because why not? It was the 70s, they love that kind of thing. And then this one, a little bit of stainless steel, probably made in the UK. Sometimes they are signed on the back as well. But this one has got a fabulous glass crystal on there, which depending on the direction that you look at it, can be green, can be pink, can be blue. Needs a little bit of a clean up there with the glue. It might have been re-glued a couple of times actually, and the glue's just gone a little bit funky. So who knows, maybe I will clean that up quite possibly and get the funkiness out of there. Slam dunk to funk. That's just weird, Lex. Just weird. Oh, actually, I said I've got one more modern-ish. So this is by a brand called Dolce Vita, and you think that would be an Italian brand, wouldn't you? But no, actually it's French, and I found out about it while I was in France because I bought a Dolce Vita necklace for like €1, and then was quite pleasantly surprised when I got back home, looked up the brand, and it was actually really nice collectible stuff. So this one is gorgeous butterfly with Swarovski crystals in there. Absolutely lovely. There you go, signed Dolce Vita there as well. So that is one to be on the lookout for, because it's a really, really nice brand to sell actually. And they do sell, and they do sell reasonably quick as well. So we've got a little butterfly enclosure going on down there. I do actually have a little bit of a menagerie, which I will introduce you to. I've got a couple of deer brooches. So this one, quite a traditional sort of Bambi-ish deer. It's got lovely enamel on it. Look at the detail on that, the little spots on the back. Very sweet, unsigned. Maybe a little bit more modern, perhaps 1970s or 80s perhaps. Very sweet. And then this one, quite bizarre. It's got a trombone clasp to it, which are very popular like in French jewellery, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's particularly French or old, but they just kind of liked those ones. But then that does look a bit Art Deco, doesn't it? Very stylized. And then with the lovely glass and marquisite stones. Beautiful. So a couple of these animal ones, actually maybe all of these animal ones, will be going into my Menagerie Whatnot show. Link underneath to my Whatnot. This one, the clasp needs fixing on it, but that is an easy fix. Literally, you just get a pair of pliers and you squeeze, and that is it. Clasp fixed. Still a little bit loose, but it works. Just like me. Haha. We've got a cute little black cat there. Look at his whiskers though. Look at his whiskers. I was looking at Tilda's whiskers the other day, and I was like, God, you've got really long whiskers. And of course she has to have really long whiskers because she's really wide. She's quite a wide cat. And Shizuma, you have got beautiful whiskers. You've got like soft black whiskers because she's a soft black cat, and she's next to me right now. She'll probably have a little meow in a minute. Look at this little ginger cat, this little orange. Orange cats are crazy, aren't they? I really love the enamel on him as well. He's cute. And then he's got a little mouse next to him. I will have to put a little jump ring on him. Aww, he is so sweet, isn't he? I really like him a lot. I will be sad to see him go, but go he must because he can't keep everything. But he's lovely. I haven't Google image, oh no, I have Google image searched him and nothing came up, and neither did that. And neither did the next one, which I'm quite surprised by, because this is such a stylized frog. I would have thought that would definitely be a thing. But no, couldn't find that. But what a happy frog he is. Not signed, but I would say definitely vintage, judging by the finish on the back of him. But I think he's cool. He's got really weird eyes. And then he does look like he's smiling, doesn't he? Some people really love frogs, don't they? They kind of weird me out a little bit. I remember when we had a frog spawn in the back garden once, and they all turned into, you know, like you have like the tadpoles, and then like they all grow, and then and there was a whole plague of them in our back garden once. And they were quite loud as well. I mean, I was about 4 years old, and so my memory of them is a little bit like probably more dramatic than what it actually was. Now, I know Sylvia mentioned getting some giant snails that she wanted as pets, because our Sylvia is a bit of an odd un. Bless you, Sylvia. But yeah, I'll probably put this one into the Whatnot show as well. Bless you, Shizuma. Oh, Shizuma just sneezed, and it's so cute. Isn't it cute when they sneeze? Everything cats do is cute. But yeah, I think these are really well made. I'm surprised they're not signed. They feel like they're gold plated, and they feel really, really nice quality as well. And you don't often see just snails like that aren't cartoon ones. You get cartoon snails, you know, with like people's names written on them and stuff like that, the enamel ones, but you never see just a nice snail brooch until now. So isn't that cool? Next up, we got a spider. He is a big spider, but I might keep him for later on in the year, for when I do a Dark Academia show or like a Halloween-y type show. I don't think he's particularly old, but again, what's the matter? Do you want to look at the spider? Do you like that? Yeah. She's just giving it her seal of approval by nudging up next to it. Anything for a little scratchy. But yeah, he's kind of cool. He's got all of its stones, which is unusual, and none of them are dead, but I will do a Google image search on it just in case it is a little bit older. I know, look at the construction, it might be, but we shall see. Prong set, foil backed stones. It's possible, but it's so hard to tell sometimes nowadays because stuff from China like reproduces old designs, so who knows. And then the last bit of menagerie is a proper actual menagerie of animals, and I really love this one. I think this is such a cool slider bracelet. Look how stylized these animals are as well. So we've got a lion, and we've got a tiger, and then some kind of like totem. To me it looks a lot like laurel birch, like in the faces of some of the animals, like especially, doesn't that look like a laurel birch? But it doesn't come up with laurel birch when I Google image search it, so I'm not quite sure, but it definitely has that look to it, and I think that is a lovely collection of safari animals. I'd go to that safari. It's so cool. Ooh, some touristy bits then, seeing as we're talking vaguely about travel then. There was vague thing about travel, wasn't there? Yeah, I'll make a little space down here. Right, first up. Yeah. Etruscan, I reckon. And then it says it's made in Italy, but then ALP. Would ALP still be alpaca? Because I thought alpaca was like alpaca Mexico. Can alpaca also be Italy? I don't know, but it definitely says made in Italy. So and it's in English rather than in Italian. So it is made for an export market. It's not silver, but those bits might be glass or coral. No, glass. But it definitely has that Etruscan look to it, doesn't it? Looks like a shield. Very cool. And then this one. This one is from Holland. Do you know how I know it's from Holland? It says Holland. There we go, in that little panel. So we've got some very tiny little Delft scenes. So there's a windmill there, and then there's a couple of people meeting, and then it looks like they're dancing there, and then there's a close-up of a shoe. Nice. And then, oh look, they're getting married and they're going to go and live in the windmill. And then she's pushing him around on a chair or something. And then I think, and there they are, they're going off to sea or something like that. I don't know what the story is, but it must tell some kind of love romance story. It's sweet, isn't it? And then this one I know is, I'm pretty sure is, a Persian storyteller bracelet. I've had this before, but very, very detailed hand paintings. This one not so detailed. There seems to be lots of repetitions, like of the same pattern, and it's quite roughly done. I think the one that I've had before, I'm pretty sure like each one was different, and they had like different animals and flowers and things on there. I think there was a deer and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Persian storyteller. So Persia is in like Iran. I think that's right. I'm quite old as well. What do we say? Probably about 1900s maybe. If you know any more, please do tell us below. And then the last of the touristy bracelets is this babushka matroika. Little Russian dolls, aren't they sweet? So these seem to be, there we go, like a metal base and then a little printed picture with enamel over the top of it. I think they're really sweet. They would make cool earrings, but I would leave them on the little charm bracelet because I think that is so lovely. Look at the tiny little one there. That is so cute. So cute. I do like Russian dolls. At one point I wanted to have Russian dolls tattooed on me, but I've gone off the idea a little bit now. Next up, RMS Aquitania. So I have looked this one up and it does go for a decent amount of monies. Looks like it's probably gold plated or gold filled, that, and then that'll be painted enamel on there. It's rather sweet little bit of memorabilia, so a little souvenir. Obviously if it was the Titanic it would probably be worth a bit more. Another boat. It's got the flag on there, the English flag. So it's not a pirate. I don't think it's a pirate ship. But he's rather lovely, isn't it? Again, nice enamel on there. It doesn't seem to be chipped or anything. No maker, which is a shame. It might be a more modern one, but it is like really nicely made. I think that's quite cool. Not as cool as Viking ships, obviously, which are the best. And then this is my favourite little souvenir piece. Probably, what, 1920s maybe? And this one is a souvenir. Picturesque. There we go. Isn't that sweet? What does it say there? Where's my thingy? And it's Alaxland. Alan, what? No, Manxland. I was going to say there is no place called Alexland. Of course it's Manx, because it's got that. So, these are all little pictures. So what's it got there? Axley Wheel. Isle of Man, Ballaglass Glen. Maybe it's a bit later then. 1930s, 40s. Ramsey. TT races. I don't know then. When would you date this? 1950s? Solby Glen. Port Erin, or Erin. Port St Mary. Castle Rushen. And Douglas. Oh, let's have a look at what the bus is like in there. Oh, it's quite an old bus, and they've like hand tinted. Unusual. Maybe 1950s then. But I really love this little, like, isn't that so sweet? That is so cute. Lovely little souvenir, that. Okay, my top 5 bits then, my top 5 bits. First up is this little St. Christopher, which is actually a locket, which is unusual. There you go, little locket that opens up. This is a rolled gold locket. Do you know how I know that? Because it says it on there. But it's also stamped A*D, which is Andreas Daub or Andreas Daub. So a nice make as well. And then it's got this lovely little very detailed St. Christopher on the front. So that might be a lovely collectible piece. People collect Andreas Daub stuff anyway. So you've got a few markets for that. People that like roll gold, people that want a nice little gift for someone who's going traveling, or keepsake lockets. So you've got a few markets for something like that. Oh, right. Didn't I say that we had a lovely colour of these coming up? The bezel sets. Look at that colour. Isn't that gorgeous? So a dark pink cerise colour. That is my colour, that. Absolutely gorgeous. I went to a friend's wedding in a dress that colour. Absolutely stunning. Nice long bezel set. And then one of the best things about it as well is that it is Swarovski. So that just like doubles the price at least instantly, just for it being Swarovski, because then you know that these are not just glass, these are Swarovski crystals. Stunning. And the colour on it is just, oh, beautiful. Next up, I love this as soon as I saw it. I just think those stones are amazing. It's probably 1970s, but hasn't it just got that like Regency Baroque or Baroque? If it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. But it's definitely got that beautiful Regency kind of look to it. Bit Marie Antoinette. Just stunning though, isn't it? Just glorious. I haven't done a Google image search on this one just yet. I was going to say, is that spelling out a signature there? But no, it's not. What are they? That might be some kind of maker's mark. But I just think that is absolutely wonderful. Imagine if that was in gold with rubies. Oh, blimey. Okay, my second favourite brooch, because my favourite thing is going to be a brooch, and you will see why. But then you'll see this brooch and go, wow, that's only your second favourite. Look at it. Isn't that a stunner? So those are Rivoli stones, like watermelon glass ones. Absolute stunner. Now I have Google image searched this one. Comes up with, oh God, listings from all over the world. There's one currently listed on Etsy for like over £40. There's someone saying that it's by a certain maker that I can't remember, D&E or something, which I think is an American brand. But I'm not sure because I really don't know anything about them. It is not marked, but it does have this really old style like framework on the back. So if you have any ideas as to who that is by, please do let me know. But I absolutely love those stones. I think they are amazing. Just glorious. And then my favourite brooch, and you will see why. You will know why instantly, why it is the favourite. It is old. It is huge. It is orange. It is striped. What is it going to be? It's going to be a beautiful piece of agate. Isn't that stunning? Victorian. It's got a really long pointy pin. It has got this... Hello, Shizuma. You've come to see the brooch. Do you want to see? Hi. It's got this gorgeous, gorgeous pinchback frame to it. Bezel set. There you go. There's the back. It's in really, really lovely condition. A lot of the times when I see these, the agate is cracked, or like there's green like deposits on there, bit of verdigris to polish off. But this one's in a really, really super duper lovely condition. There's a possibility I might keep this one for a little while. Who knows? Maybe until around Christmas time or something. But yeah, stunner, isn't it? Absolute stunner. So let me know down below which one is your favourite, whether you're going to join me for the Menagerie Whatnot show. And yeah, it's quite a nice bunch that, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed. If there's been something here that you have fancied for yourself, please do let me know. My email address is in the description box underneath. The next one of these videos is going to be a selection of a silver, sterling silver. So look out for that one coming later in the week. So until next time, bye bye now. Bye bye.